So, this is the fourth book in the Skullthrone series. Well, not the Skullthrone series, the Demoncycle series, and this is the Skullthrone. The book is quite small, so we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Ooh, look at that. And it's the second last book. It's also the thinnest. It is very short compared to the others. It's only about 400 pages? Still 600, but the size of it, it's not very tall and all, but it's a decent size. It took me a couple of days to read. So, being it's the fourth book, do you really, should you care about a review of the book? And there are two ways to look at it. There's one way to say, does the series take a drastic change in a way that makes you think, I should not read this book anymore? Or, and the other way is, of course, to discuss, have a discussion going through. And I'm kind of interested in both, but I'm going to structure it the usual way. But hopefully we'll have a little discussion about how you think the book's going to change. So, a little bit of background on the book, of course. It's written by Peter V. Brett, like the rest of the series. As of today, it stands at roughly a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads with about 1700 reviews. And it's from 2015. But, let's get right into the cover. I'm gonna mix it up this time and have them in the same section. Oh my god. Alright, so the cover is the typical for Peter Brett's books. It's a cat person with a weapon doing a fancy stance, and they are really boring. This is the fourth book in the series, though, as I said, so it doesn't really matter. It's kind of the same as the third book. Do you really, really care about the cover when you're this far in the series, or do you more just care about the story? And I would say from an aesthetic point of view, all the books have the same theme, so that's really nice. But I also care about having a nice cover, and I don't think they are very nice, but I don't know, maybe. But I don't really, there's not much to say. It's the fourth book. The cover shouldn't really care. You can make the entire cover black and just write Skullthrone by Peter V. Brett, and it would be perfectly fine. But anyways, let's get to the first section. I love how Ireland wants to work with Jadir, and I love the philosophy discussion that we get. It's so interesting, and it's sadly cut off way too soon. I know the book's called Skullthrone, and I can already tell it's more of a let's wrap up some of the side stories and loose ends before the last book. Again, Brett dedicates a couple chapters to explain the background story of one of the tertiary characters. However, in this one, it works. Here, there isn't a countdown, so it isn't ruining the pacing. The last book had a countdown, so it's really off-putting. Here it's just, the smallest book, and it's just, let's prepare for the final one. Also giving us a lower society rank character's view on the changes the Crussian society is going through is great. We can really see some wild changes. Inanera is also growing on me in this one. She doesn't feel like she can just do whatever she wants, but is in deep water and has to tread carefully. So, and then finally, Aban is building an army of his own elite warriors, and getting his sons removed as Sharum is so wild to me. I have no idea what his plans. My god says he wants to make an independent trade city, where if he doesn't own the stores, they pay him to be there. I don't know. And it's kind of intriguing to me, because I think Aban is such a great character, and I really would like to learn more about him. But I also want more with Arlen and Jadir, and really what I care about. But let's see how the next section goes. Before talking about this book, the physical size of it works in the story's favor. You can feel everything is picking up pace as we're preparing for the final book, and having a shorter book forces the writing to be more tight and fast paced, and adding to the feeling of the climax arriving first. So let's discuss the things in this section. I love how Jadir and Ireland have the most careful alliance going, and how they keep at it with each other. At the same time, Jadir has directly, and Ireland gives me a feeling that they still see each other as brothers, and would save each other in a heartbeat. The actual plan is awesome and fun though. Here you go. The siege of Ducktown was about as chaotic as I expected. I'm actually glad they almost failed. It adds so much to the idea that Jadir had to work for his achievements while his son expects to just go and get them. The alliance between Arban and Inavera is fun and thrilling. You can really feel how they must work together, but that they really don't want to. Also, Arban trying to control Giant in leading a war it's a blast to me. Finally, Lisha and Rocher marrying his apprentice or getting engaged. They technically aren't married yet. It didn't surprise me at all, and I don't think anyone would find it that. I mean, it's given both societies are monogamous, and it's kind of weird that everybody just accept he's taking a third. I mean, I know technically speaking, Jadir's people, I don't remember their names right now, is polygamous, but in the same kind of matter, they feel monogamous when it comes to like ranking of the wives and who you're allowed to marry. But so it still feels kind of weird, but I don't know. Lisha and her guild isn't a surprise either, and the way she methodically studies warding on humans is intriguing, given all we know is how the others are self-taught and go by feeling. All in all, the first half of the book is ever as expected. It's great, it's fun, the characters have some great moments. I'm not gonna say it's a perfect book, because it feels like almost a side story just going on here, because we are trying to wrap up some things and move the plot and prepare everybody for the next book. So it's definitely the weakest of the books, but I don't think it's a bad book. I didn't plan on reading the rest of the book in one go, but here we are. I simply just forgot to stop. So I'll talk about some of the things I found interesting, but also stay relatively spoiler-free. The Giant and Assume subplot for power it's great fun, but it feels unnecessary right now. However, I also think it's some of the most thrilling and action-packed parts while still having the character-driven narrative. How the plans to take the Skull Throne weaves with the Lisha and Thamos subplots are wonderful. I really like how they converge without all the characters meeting. I generally can feel this book is written to end a lot of plot points, as I talked about. So hopefully the last book can focus purely on Ireland and company. Now that is fine and all, but I don't think all the subplots were handled how I would have liked it. None of it felt out of place. I just think there were better endings for some of the characters than what they got. One thing I did appreciate was how tertiary characters like Hasik got concluded. The cast has grown quite large, and it would have been nearly impossible to keep track of them all in an epic finale. So narrowing the cast down is a great choice. Also think they were spaced out fine enough for the book. I have to. So I lost some more script, so let's just freestyle some video. I have some problems with the book, and it comes down to mainly how Lisha is handled with all her love story thingies. It's really weird because it's kind of so outlandish. Like how Thamo, like you can clearly feel she's still in love with the idea of Jadir, but she loves Thamos too, and it's just she keeps telling Thamos her one true love, but you know she loves Jadir. And I don't know if she would go back to him if she got the opportunity, if the right things happened, but I don't know. It just feels a little too weird with Lisha and all. Also, just in general, having just dedicated a book like this just kind of screams you didn't plan it out enough with your story. I don't know, if you have an entire book just dedicated to ending this turned into a conclusion. I guess this is part 3 plus conclusion. If you plan on having a book just to end up loose ends and further some basic story points, that's fine and all, but it's also really, really weird. Also, the point with the it just screams bad planning to me. Like, you weren't sure what you wanted this book to do. Like, you knew where you wanted to end, but you didn't know how to get there with some of your characters, so you just, let's just write a book doing that. Also, with the demon princes, the attack on them was great and all. It was super fun and interesting, but the taking a crap on the sarcophagus, really? I mean, it's fine and all, they're talking smack about it between each other, but actually doing it, they're supposed to be really, really smart, so why are they doing something so silly and dumb? I don't get it. So, all in all, do I think you should read this book? You are this far in the series, yes, but be prepared, it is so far the weakest of the books. And if the series started with this, I'm not actually sure if I would continue on, but I don't know. I like some of the characters. I'm really attached to Arlen and Jadir, so I really want to know where they're going. So I guess read it if you or this find the series. You should read it if you're thinking, I want to know about all the books beforehand. No, it drops in quality in the fourth book, but